Reverence for life. The dialectics of embracing the idea of conscientious existence and experiencing its translation into emancipatory actions, colliding cosmos. Written by A Hamed Hosseini. Viewing life as an intentional and conscientious creation of the universe or a higher power imbues individuals with a profound appreciation for the inherent value of life and its intricate balance. It strengthens the motivation to engage in selfless struggles and compassionate actions, knowing that one's efforts contribute to the greater purpose of life's endurance and flourishing for all. But how can one become certain about the credibility of such a worldview? Indeed, one way to evaluate the certainty of a worldview is to compare the consequences of holding the belief versus holding its opposite. By examining the potential outcomes and implications of each perspective, we can gain insights into their logical comparisons and assess which one is more coherent and consistent with the available evidence. Let's explore this comparison. 1. Holding the belief in a conscientious existence. Believing in a conscientious universe, existence that purposefully contests all odds to give birth to life and promote its preservation can lead to a deep sense of meaning and purpose in one's own life. It fosters a strong motivation to act compassionately, empathetically, and selflessly to contribute to the well-being and endurance of all living beings. This perspective reinforces the interconnectedness of life and encourages a sense of responsibility to protect the web of life and promote its sustainability. This worldview may lead individuals and collectives to find profound solace and inspiration in the idea that life has inherent value and purpose. It can cultivate a deep sense of hope and optimism, even in the face of adversity, as one believes in a higher order that seeks life's preservation and flourishing through a continuous process of evolution. This evolution teleologically aims to bring forth conscientious beings with significantly higher free will, capable of willfully and responsively taking over the stewardship of the web of life. The execution of such stewardship constitutes the core of self-fulfillment for these intelligent beings who play an integral role in the self-fulfilling grand plan of existence. Contrary to the popular belief among critics of such a worldview, this perspective may not necessarily require blind faith and belief in the absence of empirical evidence. As further explained below, it finds support in the ever-unfolding wonders and interconnectedness of the natural world, reinforcing its coherence and relevance. 2. Holding the opposite belief, indifferent or non-conscientious existence. Believing in an indifferent or non-conscientious existence, where life's existence is a result of chance or randomness, may lead to feelings of existential uncertainty or nihilism. It might diminish the perceived significance of individual actions and reduce motivation to actively work for the betterment of society and the environment. This perspective could result in a sense of detachment from the interconnectedness of life and potentially lead to a lack of responsibility toward preserving the environment and promoting collective well-being. It may also challenge one's sense of purpose and leave individuals searching for meaning in a seemingly purposeless universe. The logical comparison between these two options reveals that holding the belief in a conscientious universe has potential positive consequences, fostering a sense of purpose, compassion, and a desire to contribute to life's preservation. On the other hand, holding the opposite belief might lead to existential uncertainties and reduced motivation for meaningful actions. However, while logical comparisons and pragmatism play an essential role in evaluating worldviews, the sense of experiencing the divinity of life itself goes beyond mere rational analysis. It delves into a realm of spirituality, transcendence, and personal connection that cannot be fully captured by logical reasoning alone. People's worldviews are deeply shaped by experiences, cultural influences, and affective and spiritual inclinations. Experiencing the divinity of life involves a profound and intuitive connection with the universe and the living beings within it. It goes beyond intellectual understanding and involves a direct, heartfelt, and sometimes mystical encounter with the sacredness and interconnectedness of all existence. This sense of divinity can be found in various forms and across different religious and philosophical traditions. For some, it might manifest in moments of prayer or meditation, where they feel a deep connection with a higher power or the cosmic order. Others might experience it while being in nature, where the beauty and complexity of the natural world evoke a sense of reverence and oneness with all living things. Experiencing the divinity of life can also arise from acts of compassion, love, and selflessness. When individuals engage in acts of kindness and altruism, They often report a profound sense of purpose and interconnectedness with others, recognizing the divine spark that exists within each being. Such experiences of the divinity of life can be transformative and have a profound impact on a person's worldview. They can instill a deep sense of meaning, purpose, and connectedness, leading individuals to approach life with a greater sense of responsibility and a desire to contribute positively to the well-being of others and the planet. While logical comparisons and pragmatic considerations are valuable tools for evaluating worldviews, the sense of experiencing the divinity of life adds a dimension of spirituality and personal connection that can profoundly shape one's beliefs and actions. It invites individuals to transcend the limitations of logic and reason and explore the depths of their inner selves to discover a sense of purpose and interconnectedness with all living beings. However, these experiences should not be seen as antidotes to pragmatist logic. In fact, there is a dialectical relationship between logical pragmatism of choosing a worldview and then experiencing the consequences, and then reflecting back. For instance, taking the conscientious universe worldview results in an act of compassion and the like that paves the way for experiencing the divinity of life, and then it becomes a self-reinforcing path. As individuals and collectives engage in acts of liberation, they may find themselves experiencing more authentic and deeper connections with the sacredness of life and a sense of purpose that further motivates them to continue this path. However, this requires the avoidance of any religious hierarchical structure that may spoil such experiences as the result of the infiltration of power into this. This needs to be situated in participation in non-hierarchical organizations of collective actions for emancipation. Indeed, we need to be mindful of the potential impact of faith-based hierarchical structures on this process. When these institutions become entangled with power and hierarchy from within their establishment or serve the endurance of a broader hierarchical structure in the broader society, they would very likely hinder the authentic experience of the divinity of life. The pursuit of power and control might divert the focus away from compassion and collective well-being, thereby diluting the transformative potential of such experiences. In response, participating in non-hierarchical organizations of collective action for emancipation is suggested. These types of organizations can provide a more inclusive and egalitarian environment that allows individuals to engage in collective efforts for positive change without the interference of hierarchical power dynamics. By being part of such groups, individuals can work towards promoting justice, equality, and compassion in a community-driven and collaborative manner, thus enhancing the potential for authentic spiritual experiences. In this way, the dialectical relationship can be fostered within a community context that values the emancipatory aspects of collective action. By avoiding hierarchical structures and prioritizing a more inclusive and egalitarian approach, individuals have a greater opportunity to experience the divinity of life in a way that aligns with their conscientious worldview and motivates them to continue their journey of compassionate action. Ultimately, this holistic approach to embracing a conscientious worldview and experiencing the consequences of engaging in collective efforts for emancipation can create a powerful synergy that enhances both personal spiritual growth and societal transformation. By embracing a worldview that celebrates the interconnectedness and sacredness of life, individuals can find a profound sense of purpose, joy, and fulfillment in their pursuit of a more just and compassionate world.